out, as well as some resilience on the ground. We'll see if he goes for a two-pronged attack here. Not too many forces blocking there for him. Starport being put under that factory, so it's not. He's actually going for a science facility. So he is indeed going for a science facility off one base on one gas. We're going to see whether this works for him. Of course, with all those mutalisks on the way, a large group of mutalisks, those could help him out. I definitely think Hwasin should put down a few more turrets, though. That one turret and the Medic Marine is going to see what he goes. The mutalisks now flying in. No, not going to engage right away. There's Medic Marines in a pretty good position. We're going to see how the engagement goes. Luxury is going to have to micromanage all those mutalisks pretty well to make sure that it doesn't take too much damage while picking off as many Medic Marines as they can. I think Hwasin definitely needs a few more turrets there. He doesn't have a lot of turrets down on the ground. Luxury now also knows that it doesn't have a lot of deal. Now moving in, picking off some Marines, doing a pretty good job, taking a little bit, doesn't take too much damage. There's a rather large clump of mutalisks there taking out Marines in only one shot. Of course, very good for him. Hwasin definitely needs some more Medic Marines out there. Again, mutalisks flying in, picking off one Marine and flying back. If Luxury continues to do this fairly well, it will, of course, come out in handy for him. And with those mutalisks out there, it's definitely going to delay Hwasin's expansion even more. Another hatchery being put down by Luxury. Meanwhile, he might also actually think of putting down another expansion. Hydra is now out, so lurkers should be on the way as well. More supply depots and another turret they're being put down by Hwasin. Another barracks as well as a science facility is now up, so we're going to see science vessels up fairly soon, although I don't know how quickly they're going to have the irradiate upgrade. So some Marines still there running around, just trying to prevent those mutalisks from engaging as much as they can. Mutalisks flying around pretty well, though. We're going to see overall a bunch of lurkers being morphed all around. There's an idle drone standing around there. We're going to see what he does with that. Possibly thinking of putting on another expansion. Third barracks almost off. Hwasin for science vessel now out for him, so he should be able to irradiate those mutalisks. So Luxury has to do with those. All in all, Hwasin's done a pretty good job of preventing those mutalisks from going in and doing any sort of economic damage. He hasn't lost a single ICV, just lost a few Marines. First lurkers now out for Luxury, meanwhile. And overall, if Hwasin just keeps on going, keeps being this well defensive, he should be able to do pretty well, although he's definitely going to need to get an expansion going, just mining off one base. Mind you, it's not that bad to mine off one base since, when you think about the fact that Luxury only has 2 mining bases. But overall, Scourge now out for Luxury, so the science vessels you got to be very careful with. Factory being floated off to scout some science vessels. Lurkers, meanwhile, blocking the ramp. I definitely think he has scanned, though. Overall, we're going to see how it is that he uses what. Both players looking fairly focused. Bunker actually being put down, so putting down a bunker at the ramp, possibly thinking of ranging those lurkers and just shooting at them from a distance to make sure that they don't damage them. That's actually a fairly good strategy from Hwasin. There has a fairly large clump of units, Medic Marines, Scourge, and mutalisks thinking of moving in 2 science vessels now out in the air. So the more science vessels Hwasin gets, of course, the worse it is for Luxury. Luxury actually just going to fly by those mutalisks here, going to go right for it. Oh, just almost nothing to do there. Oh, it does nothing but pick off one SCV, though. He should have done more, I think. Bunker now out with some forces inside, and Luxury setting up another expansion. I definitely think Luxury should have done more. I think he had enough time. He should have been able to run his forces away. Hwasin was a little bit lagging, but maybe I'm just not seeing something. Weapons 1 upgrade now ready there for Hwasin, so Hwasin's going to be in a fairly good position to keep this entire engagement going. Those mutalisks still frying around. Well, not frying anything at the moment, anyway. Another command center now being put down by Hwasin, being very careful, gonna float that down right into the expansion and picking off those lurkers from a distance with those Marines. Now it's just one single lurker and just gonna engage those with those Medic Marines, gonna risk them a little bit. That's why my Muesli is now moving in with a Scourge. No, Scourge being killed before they managed to kill the science vessel. That's very good there by Hwasin. I think a Scourge, maybe even 2 Scourge landed on each science vessel, but overall he didn't lose a single science vessel. Very good for him. Now going to move out with 1 science vessel to scout the area. No Scourge out for Luxury here, just actually thinking of moving out. Definitely going to break any sort of containment. Luxury might have had more workers on the way, meanwhile, for Luxury, but they're just not going to be in time. Science also there, just not going to be able to try to delay as much as they can. Mutalisks also flying in and try to pick off as much as they can. Pick off 1 science vessel. Those science vessels both have been damaged. 1 science vessel has been lost, so now Hwasin has to be very careful here, moving out with, and has to keep that science vessel out. Also have a tank now going. Meanwhile, going to move back a little bit, take out a random overlord flying around there. More Hydralisks as well as lurkers now on the way for Luxury. Luxury is going to be getting an economic advantage, especially with a 3rd base soon up and running. So I think that command center for Hwasin is going to land fairly soon, though. So he's going to also have 2 bases. I'm not sure where Luxury is on upgrades. His ground forces don't have any upgrades. I think he might have used his upgrades for his aerial forces. I'm not sure. He's going to be mining off 3 gases pretty soon, though. Science's still flying around, still a little bit damaged. Has to be very careful to protect that. I don't see any Scourge, but mutalisks with a couple of shots can engage that and take that out pretty easily. Natural expansion almost now up for Hwasin. Very interesting to see a Terran fast fast ticking like this. Meanwhile, Luxury actually thinking of a sort of a counter. All those forces of Hwasin's are rather in a forward position, and meanwhile, Luxury now doing a counter attack of sorts here, moving out with those lurkers. Definitely going to force that Command Center to float up and to kill some forces there. Meanwhile, Hwasin is engaging here on the other side, has a couple of tanks that are going to be just sieging against those lurkers as well as against those sunken colonies. I don't actually see any science vessel for him. There's a dropship meanwhile out for Hwasin. He might be thought of dropping something, although his own natural expansion is for both players actually. Natural expansion is very vulnerable, although Luxury is moving some forces out into the back at this point. Gonna see overall how it is that happens. Their dropship also on the way, so might be thinking of drop. Hydra's now in the area, so they are just gonna continue shooting at the command center and put it at serious risk here. Overall, slight stalemate going on, but action still abound. Milk is good. Drop now coming up with Marines for Hwasin. Not gonna be too effective. Not enough. Oh man, Luxury read that perfectly. Just runs in. Instantly takes that out. Bad drop there. I think he managed to save a couple of Marines, but overall loses a few Marines and a medic there. If that drop had been a surprise, it could have been effective, but overall Luxury had some forces there completely ready for that. He had read that, seen it with lurkers. Command are they're in some serious danger. One lurker still on the ground. I'm not gonna let Hwasin do anything. Still a science vessel out now. I'm not sure if it was the last one that was repaired or the way they built a new one. I know he built a dropship instead of going for one more science vessel. Science vessel just running around checking the lurker positioning. We're gonna see whether Hwasin is just gonna hold a contain or gonna try to push in with those siege tanks. He has to be very careful in that regard not to get them picked off. Reinforcing with a few more Marines there, just all stimmed, running around. Gonna see whether he's just gonna clear the ground and reinforce the dropship again. Oh, now this is what Hwasin needs to do. Putting a drop in the position there. Oh, but getting it scourged down. The Zerglings come right in time. Oh, a girl there, not being very happy that happened to him. Scourge just running in at the perfect time. Luxury, the perfect timing. But meanwhile, more Marines now moving in for Hwasin. Not a drop. Not going to bother a drop this time. Just moving in with Marines. Going to completely focus on this attack. I don't see any reinforcements coming in from Luxury to take those out, though. Lurkers moving in again on the natural. There are some tanks and Marines to engage those. Workers not being buried on time by Luxury. Okay, now they're getting buried. I'm not seeing a scan going off, so those workers should be cleaned out fairly easily. Some Marines dying though. The CV's even engaging the workers. Oh man, scan. Oh, scan running out and 2 lurkers still alive. Hwasin unfortunately losing some SCVs and Marines, but meanwhile, of course, getting some revenge, clearing out that 4 o'clock base. Science vessel now finally out, and the tank's going to siege right on top of those. And oh, Luxury thinking of a breaking out, putting some lurkers everywhere, engaging the siege tank, putting some Zerglings out there as well. Lurkers just burrowing as fast as they can. Tanks are being taken out. Some Marines trying to block those tanks as well as they can. Some Marines also get taken out. The tank is going to have to go down, and Luxury is going to break this contain. Oh man, he has so many Zerglings everywhere, running out, just doing as much damage as he can. Some Marines enough. Hwasin just trying to hold as much as they can. He's not going to be able to completely hold the contain. He does manage to let a lot of his medic Marines survive, but overall the contain is broken, so Luxury is going to be able to go out and get some more expansions going. Oh man, command center of Hwasin's almost burned out. I don't know why he's not repairing it. I definitely think he should, because only a few shots at the command center will take it out. That's going to be just a huge science vessel. Oh, science was going down. Wonderful Scourge for Luxury so far this game, and that command center finally being repaired. Seriously, you could just move in with some Zerglings and just attack a lot. I'm actually not sure, but I think at this point, Luxury might actually have Hive Tech, because the Zerglings seem to be attacking very quickly. A lot of damage overall there. Some lurkers still in position everywhere for Hwasin. He's going to just possibly, again, try to get a contain going, but Luxury, I mean, is going to try to get a contain going. Has some lurkers positioning, going to make sure that he clears out any forces and can take down any expansion that he feels. Although Luxury is at this point at 2 mining bases, and Hwasin also, so Luxury, his early economic advantage has been going down pretty much. A lot of lurkers out in the ground for Luxury, some irradiates going off on those, but Hwasin definitely needs to get more sciences going up. He needs to get, I think, more bases if he wants to get more going. Medic Marines moving out again at that 4 o'clock position. They're going to find no base there and just going to ignore completely. Lurkers still moving in. The science was in position though. I don't see any Scourge. Some lurkers just moving in shortly, and those Hydras, of course, if the science flies far too close in, should be engaged. There's actually a very good strategy here by Luxury, using those Hydras